Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I hope you're having an awesome week as always. If you don't know me, my name's Cora. I post every Sunday, so make sure you subscribe to see when I upload. All of the products I use today will be linked down below, and as always, don't forget to follow all of my social media. They're also linked down below. Today, I wanted to post a routine that I had thought I've already posted, but I looked back and I haven't. I'm gonna be showing you guys my foundation routine that I've used for years. It's tried and true and has gotten me through having horrible cystic acne to perfect skin and everywhere in between. No matter what my skin looks like, I can always count on this routine to make my skin look absolutely flawless. This routine is super affordable. I use very few products and it's super easy. Anyone can do it. So if you guys are interested, keep on watching. All right, so to get started, this is kind of what I'm working with. This is my bare skin with no makeup. I'm not too mad at it, but as you can see, I am breaking out a little bit. All right, so to get started, I'm going to go in with the Smashbox Photo Finish Primer. I'll just use a little dot and then rub my fingers together, and I'll just put it where I have texture, which is just this little area right here. Next, I'll go in with one of two foundations. I'll either use the L'Oreal True Match Dream Lumi in the color Warm Ivory, or I will go in with the L'Oreal True Match Super Blendable Makeup, and this one is the color Light Ivory W2. These are the same brand, but they both work really well. I like this one because it makes your skin look really healthy and luminous, whereas this one is better if you want a more full coverage look. This one is very light and you can definitely see your skin through it, but I also really love the effect it gives. It just depends on what mood I'm in. Today I'm feeling more of the full coverage, so I'm gonna go with this one. So my technique is a little unique. I'm going to take a Real Techniques eyeshadow brush. I'm just dipping into here, got a good amount of the product, and I'm just gonna start by dotting it all over my face. With foundation, it really depends on what you want to go for. I really like a light, natural looking finish, even though I do have a lot of spots I want to cover up. But I tend to use more concealer for that. I really think the key with makeup is to make your skin look as naturally flawless as possible, and this foundation will do that. So now that I've dotted this all over my face and I look crazy, I'm gonna go in with one of two brushes. The first one is the Morphe M439 buffing brush. This is basically just like a beauty blender, but I actually don't think beauty blenders are that sanitary if you have acne, so this brush is the way to go. I also really like the Gorgeous Cosmetics 037 brush. I really like it because it's super soft and I like how flat it is. So the combination of these two just works really well to blend in my foundation. Alright, so I finished my foundation. As you can see, you can definitely still see my natural skin through this. But for me, foundation is just laying down the base, and concealer and powder is really where I'm gonna get into making my skin look flawless. For concealer, I use the NARS Creamy Concealer in Vanilla. This is my favorite, and I've tried other ones, but I always go back to this. This is where I really get into perfecting my skin. And I definitely take my time, you know. Listen to a podcast, listen to some music. For this process, I will either use this Morphe brush again or my fingers. So I'm gonna zoom through this and then you'll see me using both. So if I'm gonna use the Morphe brush, I just kind of bounce it on my skin. And sometimes it doesn't fully cover it, but it just keeps the product in place without the oil of your hands compromising the product. Alright, so I finished my concealer, and as you can see, I really only have one pimple that's really acting out. So at this point, if it's really showing through that first layer of concealer, I'll go on in with a second layer, but this one seems to be okay. So this is my trick for if you have a really bad pimple that you need to cover. This is the only powder I'll use. This is the Ben Nye Cameo powder. You can get it online at Camera Ready Cosmetics. I'll link it down below. They're really the only retailer that I've found reliable Ben Nye products, but they're made for theater. They don't budge at all, and it's really the only powder that doesn't break me out. I've tried pretty much everything. This is what I always go back to. I'm gonna take a Real Techniques buffing brush. Into the lid, I'm pouring a generous amount of my Cameo powder. And why I like Cameo instead of translucent is it just matches my skin tone, but you can really use any Ben Nye powder you like. So I am just dipping the brush in not letting any excess off the brush. And I am just packing that on to my pimple. Now with any excess powder on this brush, I'm just gonna use that to conceal my under eyes so I don't waste it. Next, I'm going to powder around my nose where product tends to build up for me. So now that my foundation is done, I wanted to show you guys how I do the rest of my base. So I'm gonna take my hair down for this step because this is how I'll be wearing my hair today. And I like to base my bronzer around that because I like to get it really deep into my hairline and the outer perimeter of my face. First things first, I really like the SEPHORA Los Cabos bronzer. I've been using this since high school. This one is really light, but it's good for my fair skin. So I'm going to go back in with this Real Techniques brush and I'm just going to swirl a little bit of the product and really tap off the excess. You can see so much product is flying everywhere, but this is really key for a natural look as well. And I really like my cheekbones to look super high, so I'm going to pinch my cheekbones back and kind of just sculpt and swirl under where my natural cheekbone is. So I'm pretty happy with that, and I'm just going to now go into my hairline. And as you can see, I am really buffing it back there. So it looks really natural. I really hate that striped bronzer look. It looks really fake. And I'm really concentrating this on the temples of my face. Probably noticed I have a really uneven hairline, so I'm gonna go in under my hairline as well. And I really like to do it here specifically since that's where it's not the best. And I'm just kind of pulling my hair back as I go. Even though I know it won't be super visible, it's still a great way to make it look natural. So then whatever's left on the brush, I have a nose I don't love. I've talked about this on my channel before. So I just kind of like to contour the parts that I like just to emphasize them. I have a really bad bump on my nose and a really bad profile. So I do like to concentrate on the tip. I'm just gonna pinch the brush. And I'm not super precise with this, but I like to go down the side of my nose a little bit. And I do like to go in the shadows of my natural nose contour right here. Like an instant nose job already, it's crazy. And then sometimes I will put it just right there so my nose looks more sun-kissed. Bronzer's done, so now I'm going to go in with my NARS Orgasm blush. Just a really natural looking pink blush, but I really love it, as you can tell. And I'm just using the same brush, I'm swirling it in, tapping off the excess. And I kind of do the same where I pull my hairline back and then I just kind of like to put it above where the bronzer is. A little bit on the apples of my cheeks as well. I don't like to smile when I put on blush because as soon as you smile and stop, your face falls. So I don't want to have my blush fall, if that makes sense. And I do want my cheekbones to look as high as possible. Last but not least, to highlight, I'm going in with my Becca Champagne Pop, but I'm just gonna take a little bit on my finger to start and highlight my nose. So I just kind of like to do it right between where I put all the bronzer on the tip. Right there. I like to put a little bit on my Cupid's bow. And next I'm going to take this brush for a final time and put a pretty generous amount on. And just above the blush is where I swirl it on. So guys, that is my flawless foundation routine for oily and acne-prone skin. It's super affordable and I use very few products, so I hope it was helpful. All of the products I used today will be linked down below, and as always, don't forget to follow all of my social media. They're also linked down below, and I'll see you next time.